don't think that there's going to be anything entertaining there. So please prepare your minds to kind of open up and be prepared to kind of take some serious theoretical thinking. Not very much theoretical thinking, at least, ideas about kind of. This presentation is about understanding the pedagogic context of curatorial practice, place, culture and politics. This is I'm actually presenting these from the experiences of a travelling workshop which was described by Dr. Kavita Singh of JNU as innovative and experimental travelling workshops towards developing a curriculum, towards developing a postgraduate curriculum that I have been organizing. The generic title of these series of workshops is Curating Indian Visual Culture, Theory and Practice, and it is done by Association of Academics, Artists and Citizens for University Autonomy, or it is called AQUA. It's a Baroda-based organization that came up in 2007 after what happened in the Faculty of Fine Arts, an organization that was kind of supporting the resistance struggle. It's an initiative. This project of organizing workshops on curation is an initiative by India Foundation for the Arts. All of you must be doing, and in turn, it is funded by Jamshedji Tata Trust, Mumbai. And the project directors are, apart from me, I have Santosh Sudanandan, who had been in Baroda, a student in the Department of Art History. We had begun teaching there, but then because of the disruption, he had to also leave Baroda. He was teaching in JNU as temporary lecturer. Now he is working with me in Ambedkar University, Delhi, as a research fellow. This presentation is on the processes and dialogues that we have set up for ourselves in devising a curriculum in the curatorial studies in the Indian universities. As you may all know, there are no existing courses, there are no existing curriculum in any Indian universities which train people as curators. There are courses of art history and art criticism. There are institutions training, people in painting, sculpture, etc., etc. So our project is actually directed toward devising a curriculum for teaching curatorial studies. So a curriculum for curatorial studies in the Indian university. So Indian universities specifically mentioned because it's to deal with Indian situation or Indian conditions. The questions that we ask are, what are the global concepts? We need to look at what are the various conceptual paradigms for curatorial studies that are significant, that we need to take into consideration, and what should constitute the conceptual paradigms for developing a curriculum for curatorial studies practices in India. What are the special needs of Indian context? In this process, we have already put together 3 workshops. First was in September 2010 in Baroda, which was under the general title of Curating Indian Visual Culture, Theory and Practice. This was, without any particular focus, we did that. Then, from that feedback that we received, we put up the next workshop in Tripunithura, that is Cochin, Kerala, in February 2011. The thematic focus for which was questions of region, gender and sexuality. So it was more focused kind of workshop. The third one was in Hyderabad. Again, the thematics was formed out of the feedback that we received from Baroda. So the thematic focus was interfaces of art history, museum practices and popular visual culture. The next event that is going to come up is in Jammu. We always collaborate also with a local institution, and University of Jammu has come forward to collaborate with us. And the thematic focus is going to be art in the context of conflict also, because we are doing it in Jammu and Kashmir. There is a state which has been, consistently undergoing a lot of, conflicts of all kinds. So this is dated between 6th and 11th February. The selection process for participants have been already done, and two of your colleagues from the artistry department would be joining us in Jammu as Vishal and Jamshed, yes, would be joining us. Also, other than these two, there is also one resource person we are drawing from Shantiniketan, who is Amjad Sajad Hamdani. Sorry. Yeah, so we are all looking forward to that. It's less than a month now for this. Almost all kinds of details are worked out. We are going to have 8 resource persons. We have thematics ranging from partition conflict to northeastern conflict to gender conflicts to Hindu-Muslim conflict to sexuality conflict, the experience of conflict in minor sexualities. All those are ready, and you can see our updates in this website www.curationtheory.com. Please, anybody interested in it, you can constantly check this. The traveling workshops on curation addresses the issues in the currently practiced curating context of India. That is one of the primary address points that we have. To take note of, or take stock of what kind of curations are practiced in India today. We opted for workshop model. It would have been easy for us to kind of develop a curation curriculum, course structure. These are the things to be taught for curation studies. We didn't want to do that because it's, in any case, a new a course that we are proposing as far as India is concerned, and we didn't want to kind of imitate any foreign university curriculum. We want to develop our own, we wanted to identify our own issues, Indian context, in the Indian context or South Asian context more generally. So through workshop model of discussion, we are able to kind of locate some of the key areas that we need to address. So in this process, we assume that curatorial practices are multidisciplinary in character. That it is not just about looking at art and just putting up a show. It is multidisciplinary in the sense that you need to be aware of various kinds of developments in various other fields. So that is one point that we assume. We also assume that the in-depth understanding required for both practical and conceptual aspect. See, for instance, for an art historian, what is important are historical tools, art historical tools. You don't necessarily think, an art historian need not necessarily think about practical aspects of publishing a book, for instance. That after writing a book, you leave it to the publisher to do it, right? But whereas a curator definitely needs to not only think about the conceptual basis of curation or curatorial concept the curator has to develop, but also he or she has to deal with the practical aspect of actually materializing the exhibition. So you need to address that. We take that for granted. Then we also assume that curatorial practices are acts of positioning artworks or art objects in different performative matrices, meaning that it is not that an art object has a pre-given thing, or that is a constant context. It can be constantly kind of, its performance in a particular context will be different from see the way Ramtinka's Santal family as it exists in your campus is one thing, but the way it exists in GMA in Delhi is totally different, in its context, in the whole. So the performative aspect of a work of art, within the context is something that we need to constantly keep in mind. And the task of these workshops is to understand the status of curatorial pedagogy in India. As I said, what does curation mean as far as India today is concerned? To enlarge the ambit and scope of curatorial practices, considering that there is little recognition for the discipline of curation in the art schools and the absence of critical curation. I'll come to the point of critical curation, but we obviously want to kind of take a critical position with regard to the ongoing ways of curating. We won't make a difference there, because usually in the galleries you have anybody coming in and putting some works together and calling it a curation. There is no conceptual basis, there is no logic, there is no historical basis, there is no aesthetic basis. Just some works are collected and put up and called, that is the way most of the curation is done in India today. So we are actually asking these things, how to function as curator without having to contribute to the. Now, see, curation as a practice is very much, I always described it as a practical, applied art history. I mean, many people had problem with that formulation. For instance, Geeta Kapoor was very unhappy because curation is a very intellectual activity and has a lot of, but when curation functions within the commercial gallery system, it functions as if the curator has all the powers to say that so and so artists are important, and you can now easily invest in them. You can buy them, keep them, pay money, and so that kind of, thank you so much. So that is what we call as the authorial figure of curator. And he has almost like a priest, he or she has the consecratory power, to say that so and so artist is, I'm very much interested in elaborating this point, say, in an art school, where as art students are actually kind of trained without giving them any idea of what is in the market. You are totally blank, you don't know, you think that art is an object that you have to make, and so innocently think that, somebody is there to buy it. But it has to go through so many other processes, like somebody has to collect, somebody has to put it up, somebody has to pay for it, somebody has to collect it, somebody has to keep it in safety, etc., etc. So it's a whole lot of process that happens after, and there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of human relationships involved in this whole process. The private gallery system that it has developed. A lot of times artists are cheated also, exploited by a number of galleries. These are things art schools don't actually teach in the classrooms, but better be aware of them. So we are actually trying to work against that authorial power of the curator, rather than we would like to have the curator more to generate meanings of works of art. I'll come to more of it later, a little later. So we want to address things like where does curation, that's also a historical, important interest in it. Where does curation begin? What are the distinctions between early, modern curatorial ventures? How is museum curation different from gallery curation? And how is curating the contemporary art? So these are all different kinds of curation. Museums always add curators. Their role is quite different from the private gallery curation. So we need to also be aware of the history of curation in India, not only curation as a practice in West. As such, you know that there is no comprehensive book about this, curatorial studies in India. We are also concerned about museums. That's why one of the thematics in Hyderabad workshop was museum and public display. Now we want to also understand what are the new aspirations in curatorial projects. How do we know that? How do we will come to know what are the interests of young curators? That we come to know only through looking at their projects, the projects that the participants bring us. Always our participants are MA or MPhil PhD students, So their projects actually show us that these are the areas that younger generation is interested in. So from our experiences, what we have understood is that people are interested in curating regional art and culture. And we are able to kind of assert that there are needs for conceptual paradigms of curation to be developed, and there needs to be new modes of curation, that we need not necessarily think of curation only as a gallery practice, that there are possibilities of curating in the internet, for instance, interactive internet possibilities. See, we constantly assert the fact that curation is not just putting up a show that any Tom, Dick and Harry can do. We collect some works and put it up. But we want the curator to be much more meaning generative, more conceptually grounded, more historically grounded, and it has to be a critical cultural intervention. That curator's job, agency, is in framing certain kinds of works and kind of creating a certain kind of set of meanings. Like artists are creating meanings by putting together certain kinds of works together. You are again kind of creating certain other set of meanings. So curator's job is in that way very, very important in the contemporary art, or generally say in modern art. Why do you need a curator? I may stop and ask here. Why do you need a curator? What is the traditional role of a curator? Anybody has an idea? Anybody has an answer?
Bringing works of the same temperament under one platform?
Not a wrong thing, but
like the early approaches would
there is a certain other reason for a curator. Bringing together works of same kind and all that is fine. But there is a certain social role.
Cultural well-being of the society. Cultural well-being of the society.
Giving a framework to the society to look at the works, yes. But basically, because modern art as such, has moved away from public understanding, anybody's understanding. Because it went into, unlike the pre-modern times, before modernity came in, there was no need for anybody to explain anything. Everybody knew the stories, everybody whoever saw was familiar with the things that they saw, they read it naturally, right? It came to them automatically because it's part of your cultural knowledge that bows sing like that, you know it, right? You know what you see in a Vishnupur temple, for instance, You know what a painting, how things are in that. Well, I mean, there are certain curatorial practices within that. The narrator is a curator there, virtually. He's trying to kind of point out that, these are the things to be seen. This is a way to look at it. So, but basically the function of the curator is to interpret the work to the public. The artist's works are not that easily available or to the, so basic purpose or function of the curator in a museum or in a gallery is to kind of make sense of works of art to the public. Okay, so we are actually kind of thinking of various kinds of curation, like curating retrospectives of artists, how effectively an artist's monographic representation can be done, say which also reflects in monographic model of art writing. Like you write on particular artists, the whole life. You have things like Vinod Bihari Mukherjee, the entire, a book entirely on Vinod Bihari Mukherjee or any other artist. So similarly, you have curatorial ventures on them. So how do you classify the works of an artist, whether you will put it in chronological order or whether you do it in a kind of thematic order, in which way it can generate more meaning? That is the question that curator faces. Or things like activism and curation. In today's time, there is a lot of political activism that has come, and also there is an interface between art and activism. So, is there any possibility for activist art to be curated? These are some things which we want to kind of explore further in Jammu. Then, of course, there is this question of curation and photography, because photography has all kinds of existence. There are also domestic photography, family photography, photographic album, professional photography, fashion photography, tourist photography, all kinds of photography that exists, right? So, what do you want to kind of bring in? So now, photography as a medium of artist expression has come in a big way in the democratic space of modern times. Another major question that we addressed in Hyderabad was how to curate popular culture. Is it at all necessary to curate the popular culture? Or do we adequately understand what is popular culture one day? Is there something that is curated in the road? What you see on the roadside, the visual culture of waysides, or the roadside. How to kind of bring it into museum, how to kind of give it a certain sense of meaning. What are the categories of popular art? Is popular art a lump that you can put it all together, or are there different kinds of popular culture, or different popular visual culture? Is it all same? Does a category of political category exists? Are there right-wing popular culture? Is there a Dalit identity in popular culture? So various identities. What are the? See, if you want to kind of look at representations of women in popular visual culture, how to kind of put it all together as an exhibition. So how to give a focus towards a certain subject matter within the popular culture. Because popular culture is something which is not yet been curated. It is high art that had been always curated in the museums, right? If you go into any of these museums, it is not common persons or something visual, something that you find in museums, but these are all highly valued classical art. That is the popular turn, popular art. This is also something that we can discuss later. Then, question of curating new media art, curating international art. Is it the same? How can we curate an international art show in, say, Bolpur? Very serious questions. How many people are going to follow it? How many people are going to understand it? What way to make sense of it? These are the kind of challenges that we need to do. Another thing is that how to take out works from the gallery and put it out in public, and make it more interactive or more meaningful. So this kind of things. I mean, can we actually think about minority visual cultures? Minor. Is there any way to curate, say, for instance, pornographic scribblings in the toilets? Is there any way to kind of bring those very, hidden kind of slimy kind of, visual communication that is done in those toilets to be brought out into kind of public? Not just to fix any price for it, not just to kind of valorize it in that sense, but what kind of meanings that we can discuss around it, What kind of psychology kind of goes into making it, How we can actually frame it and discuss about it, make a discourse around it. So, and of course other things like curating cinema and other arts, curation and art activism and social political activism, these are the kind of areas that we deal with. So in this we have general considerations like curator as a creative director of art exhibitions. Her role emerged in the international art scene in the 1960s. Now this has come about especially because the postmodern art became more abstruse, more difficult than compared to the modern. This also needs a little explanation, probably. Something like performative art, something like installation art. So all these are actually kind of more recent manifestations after 1960s, which developed rapidly by incorporating artistic and intellectual preoccupations of our contemporary times. So there is a need for an interlocutor, so to say, or an interpreter of postmodern art that becomes necessary. Of course, any kind of modern art requires an interpretation or interpreter, but so that's why curator's job has come much more significant after 1960s. See, why curate in the contemporary times is a lot to do with the changes in art making practices. There is no more the easel painting, no more the pedestal sculptures that most artists are doing across the world. In the postmodern times, in the last 20 or 30 years, you see that artists are actually making all kinds of non-art, practices. So you need to make innovative exhibition. You need to have more innovative exhibition paradigms. How to kind of put it out in public. As such, curator is a recent addition to the institutional and business vocabulary of cultural practice in India. Curator still is not a very professional category as far as India is concerned. So any Tom, Dick and Harry becomes, curator, which needs to also we need to stop, somehow, change that situation. So more professionals are to be brought in. So it's only in the last 15 years or so that we have the specialized activity of curation coming in. One significant curatorial venture was Geeta Kapoor's 50 years of independence curation that she did for NGMA in 1996, I think. So another major rationale. So galleries need that. Museums need curation, and we need professionals to do it. We need people who can actually kind of put together works and make meanings need to come. Another rationale for the workshops is that art schools in India, now this is a contentious issue or a controversial issue, that how far the Indian art schools are effective in their pedagogy. You are the best people to tell me, or we are the best people to judge. How good are our art schools? I would rather ask how bad are our art schools? In what way they are lagging behind? What needs to be done to them? Where does the pedagogy is lacking? often we don't have any curricular, revisions. Chal raha hai, to chal raha hai, to chal raha hai, to chal raha hai. I mean, that's the kind of thing, you don't need anything much to do about it. People come, people go, people learn something, whoever has to do something will learn somehow, somewhere, kaise bhi. Whereas imagine 1920s, 30s Kala Bhavan, where there was that energy, that it was being started, and the enthusiasm with which people were going about, and so all the murals that were being done, Nandalal Bose, Vinod Bihari Mukherjee, Ramkinger Bej, and the students who were around them, in no time actually revivalism became so national. It got spread all around the country, because of the kind of strength in the pedagogy at that point in time, the push that a place like. So similarly, Faculty of Fine Arts, Baroda in the 40s and 50s also played a very significant role. But I doubt whether that same role it can play anymore. So, and of course, leave alone things like museology and art history in these institutions are dead. With all respect to my art history colleagues here who are teaching here, and also in Baroda, there is little, if any, recognition of the discipline of curation in art schools. None of our art schools even recognize that there is a discipline called curation. So, with this series of workshops, we are also attempting to kind of create a possibility for alternative pedagogical spaces. Somebody who has attended our workshop, like Vishal, second time, now he's going to attend for the third time, would tell you how possibly he has learned some things, about how to go about things, So it's not about just curation, but how it enlarges your thinking, your mind, your worldview, your approach to art, etc. So, so it is an alternative. At the moment, we are doing it as outside institutions, art institutions, and as alternative pedagogical practice. Now, one of the most important things that we need to take into consideration as far as India is concerned is that the curator as a key category in the exposition of contemporary art evolves in tandem or in parallel with the third world, I hope you follow this terminology, multiculturalism, the discourses that has come about in relation to differences, with West, and differences within, like subaltern discourses. I don't know if you all are aware of this historical movement called subaltern studies, for instance, or post-colonial postmodernisms. It's not a modern postmodernism that we can talk about Europe as a center, but Shantiniketan as a center. Postmodernism of that kind. So these kind of theoretical shifts in social sciences and humanities have brought in a lot of new challenges to art thinking. So it starts from about 80s, and our initiative of this workshop is informed by these academic development. Our program is very much academically bound. So we are actually talking about how to curate, or what curation is still we need to explore. I mean, probably still we want to kind of find out what all possible curations are there. We don't want to restrict it to museum curation or gallery curation or some particular curation. We want to keep curation as an open possibility, and probably we will talk about what and how to curate, more than that. And so that's why we come up to this terminology called critical curation. These aqua traveling workshops on curation addresses the issues in the currently practiced curating context of India, as I said. So we observe that there is an absence of critical curation in India. Recently I saw an exhibition in gallery in Ladusara in Delhi somebody well known is actually curated, but no sense it makes. No sense whatsoever. It's about pretty pictures put together, how to arrange it on the wall. That is the thing that you can get from that curation. How he has fitted in all the works in a particular way. Apart from that, there is nothing. No meaning is generated from that. And also there is this thing that if you get into serious business of critical curation, there is a possibility of a lack of supportive institutional systems that encourage and enable. This is a lack in our country. That private galleries are tremendous gatekeepers. They will not accept something which they think they cannot sell. Right? So how to kind of counter this, or how to kind of deal with it is our question. Now, our purpose basically, when we are doing this workshop, is to build an academic discourse around the practice of critical curation while keeping institutional development at the background of the program. So, the absence of a clear understanding about the rapid pace in which the idea of artwork is constantly changing indicates certain critical, crucial questions regarding curation and the field of artistic production in general. So, in fact, we have to be also aware of the fact that we are living in a time when idea of work of art itself is constantly changing. Conceptual art is kind of major in the scene, in the international scene, I would say. If curation is a mere act of showcasing the art in the way we normally understand or define, experience the work of art, then it would be difficult to define it as a political. So we tend to think that it's just putting, some works together in some kind of chronological order. So we believe actually in the contrary, that we believe that there is a political efficacy or political value to work of art, and that needs to be brought out by the, so that's why we come up with the idea of critical curation. If curation as a critical cultural practice, so we are actually imagining that curation will make a major difference if very imaginative curators come into the scene. That daring curators who can challenge the private gallery system, who can take the works out to people, into public places where these can be kind of discussed. Art can be much more brought into actual social processes, into the context of social processes. So this curatorial kind of ventures that we are dealing with has a certain interest in challenging the existing art production mode or art circulation mode. The way today art is produced, it's straightway kind of put out in the market, it is kind of sold, that kind of price is fixed. So art should have a little more or further kind of importance. Yeah, so the dissemination and consumption of art should actually be addressed in this context. So it's only it would be able to redefine the normative and hegemonic conception of art by the art community itself. I mean, that today the gallery-going public is largely the elite, school, the upper, moneyed class. Art has nothing to do with the common man as such. There's a wide gap between. So the community has nothing to do with art production or circulation, but it's only a very few minority elite class. So ideally, what we are talking about is that critical curatorial practice should make sure that inoperativeness of the community as such, art community as such, it has to critically think about art going public, and the fact that we should be bringing that critical spirit into the fore. So as you know that there is no particular courses in curation in any Indian university, then so then the question is actually how to intervene with the curatorial theoretical project, that we are trying to do as a workshop. We are doing it as a workshop. So, and on the other hand, we also see that there are so many curatorial events happening all around in Bombay, Delhi, wherever you go. There are seminars, there are discussions, there are panel discussions, on curation. Curation has become a very, so, I mean, are these programs suddenly coming up to cultivate professional curators? If so, how it can actually do that, is the question. Unless and until it's a whole, recently I attended a workshop, 3-day seminar in Bombay, organized by NCP or NPC, Holy Parade Center, and New York, some curatorial initiative. In 3 days, they how you can actually think of create, curators. Where curators are supposed to be so well informed about history, about criticism, about theory, about the whole of art history. In 3 days they guarantee that you will become, some crash courses, like that. It's curious. It's okay, it can be a workshop, it's a process. You always say that it's only a beginning, you have to further work on things. So, in principle, these initiatives, we would, if somebody asked me what the relevance of these mushrooming workshops and seminars around curation as such can have some kind of effect, at least in the art scene, but it can develop certain interactive possibilities and give rise to valuable understanding about the practices of curation as such. But skepticism and criticism, critique of the nature of most of the ongoing practices of curation in the country was central. There is a role, agency of the artist also. Artists are ready to lend into any project of exhibition. Any Tom, Dick and Harry calls himself or herself as curator, you will lend your work. Please don't do that. Please go through the curatorial concept. Please intervene. Say that this curatorial note has nothing in it, or I support this curatorial note if you believe in it. So don't go mindlessly to take part in any curated show, because there is so much of rush for artists to enter into gallery. Some chance you are getting, chalega, yet. But that is actually kind of making the curatorial practice as such a very weak thing, that doesn't have any effect as such. So this critique that we are holding as a central role to play in what we are thinking. We think that most of the curatorial ventures in India, which are with very few exceptions, are merely about putting together art exhibitions and are intended as promotional projects. This is a way the art galleries can somehow get one work, and if they include established artists, well and good, you see. So that way the gallery can get a Padamsee or a Ram Kinkar, any well-established artist into the gallery. Most of these put-ups are largely for commercial purposes and definitively lack any critical or historical insights as such. There is a need to rethink in the direction of inculcating art critical inputs into this rapidly growing cultural practice. Tremendous lack of that is obviously seen. Our interest in developing this curriculum for a university level course on critical curation is a central factor for this initiative. That is a part. So our aim is long term. We won't develop a curatorial curriculum. So it comes from a kind of critique of the ongoing thing of in the name of curation. It is because of this reason that we decided to pitch the workshop program at the level of critical engagement with existing curatorial practices as well as. So we encourage the students, participants who join in, to take up a curatorial project and critically look at it, how effective that is, or how bad that is, So we encourage critical thinking in that way. A step towards reconceptualizing. Each time you're critiquing, an already existing curatorial project, right? we are actually trying to reconceptualize for instance, there was an exhibition on Shantiniketan in Mukha, right, which was a collaborative project between Anshuman Dasgupta and somebody else. Is there anybody ready to critically think about it? Was it all agreeable to all of us? Has community's decision gone into it? These are kind of questions that I would like to kind of address when I look at a curatorial project. I had a long disagreement with Anshuman Dasgupta with regard to certain inclusions and certain exclusions in that curation. So these are the ways of coming up with things like how not to curate. Also, sometimes that is helpful in thinking. This is one of the central reasons behind the attempt in conceptualizing curriculum through a series of workshops, which are being conducted in different parts of the country. So, curation is essentially a critical practice, I would assert. And it is a critical practice not only about the art practice, but also about the existing curatorial practices. So you need to constantly kind of activate your mind in terms of meta-critiquing the existing practices. Yeah, so we would define curatorial practice basically as a critical cultural initiative. Now, there are also questions asked why we selected locations like Vadodara, Cochin, Hyderabad, Jammu, and Shillong for conducting these workshops, right? Why these smaller places, relatively smaller places compared to Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta. These places we located deliberately because they are outside the ambit of private gallery centers. We don't want private galleries to appropriate us. We don't want to also work on the side of the private gallery. We wanted to work in the context of academic institutions, primarily, and in smaller places like Cochin, for instance, or Hyderabad, Jammu, Shillong. These are kind of places where art schools exist. In any case, in these metropolises, you have art-related activities happening always, like Delhi and Mumbai and Calcutta, and there is no need to add one more event in such places. And further, another reason for having it in smaller places, these workshops in small places, is because we are exploring the regional identity questions in a big way. Already in the morning, Dr. Ashravi Bhagat has already talked about this question of regional model, right? That everything need not to be seen from the national perspective. You need to see things in India within the context of the region. And what are the regional aspirations? If you talk about, Bengal, what are the kind of aspirations, special considerations, considering the kind of political situation, social situation in this region, right? Similarly, in Chennai, in Northeast. So there is a lot more to think in terms of the regional, the hidden, unexplored. So one of the focus of these workshops had been exploring the regional identity questions in relation to national mainstream. So the interest is actually to explore the specific dynamics of art making and showing in relation to marginal regions. Art history of these regions has somehow been sidelined. How much do we know about, say, for instance, northeastern states and art practices there? So this curation somehow should actually enable us to kind of explore these possibilities, and it has been sidelined while writing or curating national histories. Now, I want to kind of also say that we are not talking about successful art all the time. We need not necessarily talk about successful art. Most important successful, artists, in Bombay and Delhi. But we also want to know why certain things are backward. We also need to curate backward art, so to say. Are we not interested in knowing why certain things are quote unquote backward, or some things seem to be stuck up, I mean, have you gone to some regional art colleges like Lucknow, or, I don't mean anything bad, but I'm really interested in knowing how things are taught there, what students are learning there, how much do they understand about anything international or global or national even, we are totally ignoring, we are only thinking about successful people from these areas who are able to somehow reach Bombay or Delhi. We are not even having any interest in people who are actually kind of opting out something, not so successful in practicing. So, how to frame, curate the seemingly backward, Going by the developments in recent past, each of these centers have a specific social and political history which needs to be seen in relation to it. So this is again to do with the region. Each region has a certain specific dynamics about it, and so artistic expression that coming from there need not be judged from any national or international standards. It needs to be seen within the kind of context of the particular region. Am I going? You can stop me. No, not. It's just 45 minutes. I can take 10 more minutes, right?
It's all right.
It's all right. Okay?
There is no other session.
All right. I'll try to be quick now. And when we talk about these regional centers or smaller places, like not very small, like Hyderabad is not a very small place anyway, but but compared to bigger cities, when we take care to always have it near or held within the art school, art teaching institutions, so that the programs benefited the larger art community, the students and staff of a particular institution, and we have benefited mutually when we do that. In Cochin, in Baroda, of course, I had no entry in the Faculty of Fine Arts, so we held it just opposite to it. So for all the open sessions, students and staff came to our, so we had the benefit of having them, and we also benefited. So there were open and closed sessions in these. The thematic of Baroda workshop was delivered. That was the first one. So it was kept deliberately open and broad-based, from which we identified key areas, thematic, to emerge from the Baroda workshop. So it is based on the feedback that we receive. So there is a certain democracy about it, that we have decided that what should be the thematics. So thematics actually developed out of the workshops. So these are the kind of components of each day's work. You have presentations by resource persons, we have participants, presentation on their conceptual notes, smaller group discussions, as well as in Hyderabad we had smaller group discussions that helped. We had been also circulating in 2 workshops certain key essays on curation, and these were sent to the participants much in advance, and they were asked to prepare on this certain texts, and then they were making presentations on these texts. So these texts were basically about critical curation. So we are also part of the workshop. We also arranged possibly some studio visits, some gallery visits, etc. also, because this is actually the list of reading material which I won't not going. Anybody interested, I can share it with you. I have soft copies of it. Anybody is interested in this, knowing it, I can send it through email. So we had specific reader for each workshop, at least 2 workshops, and we insisted on participants reading it and presenting it, representing it, and discussing it. Again, along with their curatorial concept note, we were discussing their presentation, in simultaneously. It's basically an exercise that we consider as crucial input necessary for developing self-sufficient curator professionals with inbuilt critical and historical knowledge. So we think that the curator should have critical and historical knowledge. Our conviction is that the academic theoretical ground is sound. If the academic theoretical ground is sound, the practical aspect will evolve on its own. We did not give much of an importance to how to put up the show, how to make the budget, how to do this and that, how to organize the, putting up the show, hanging the show, etc., which is Coach is constantly doing that. If you give a curatorial project to them, they will immediately ask you to submit the budget. We are not doing that. We are not kind of interested so much in the practical aspect. Not that we are not interested, but it's not our focus. Our focus is developing conceptual basis of curation. So the focus of the workshop had been on academic rigor and not non-academic practical issues. Some of these I am skipping. We had resource persons like for Baroda, we had Tapati Guha, Shukla Savant, Rabalana could not come, Ashia Lokhanwala. We had set of selection of people like art historians, curators, theoreticians who had nothing to do with curation or art. Like the Cochin workshop had Pandyan, for instance, he's a historian and a regionalist who has theorized regional identity questions. And Nivedita Menon, who also has nothing to do with art or art history or curation, but she's a theoretician who knows about, who can speak about gender and sexuality, issues. So we had pure theoretical input, pure historical input. We had curators like Sunil Gupta, for instance, an artist, and also Krishnamachari Bose. So, and these were the resource person for Hyderabad. We chose art historians Kavita Singh, Jyotindra Jain, because it was addressing museum, and popular art. We had museum people like Debra Tyagarajan, curator like Annapurna Jarimala. We had specialists like Gary Tatapa, who was worked on minority art, like Dalit art. We had Christopher Penny, who was specialized on popular art. Brenda Beck is an anthropologist, has also worked on popular. So Susi Taru, a literary person from cultural studies and literary studies, who could speak about popular, how to look at popular, the category of popular. So, apart from the local resource persons, Dr. Kitna Tangavellu and Vaishali Ghosh. I have also listed the curatorial projects that we have received from participants. I won't actually go into all those details, but just kind of skim through them. This is our list of Hyderabad workshop participants and their themes. Very interesting, very interesting thematics came up. I won't go into the details here, but maybe we can take it up later. So we had been also receiving a lot of feedback with regard to each of the workshops. So I've already said that it's on the basis of the feedback that we devise the next workshop. Now, the last point that I would like to present is the curriculum development for critical curation. We are thinking the way we have actually been zeroed in the certain thematic focuses for this workshop is itself a step forward for developing a curriculum. So in Kochi we came across this tremendous interest in gender, issues of gender, sexuality, and the question of region. In Hyderabad we discussed about the the limitations of art history, conventional art history, and the problems of museums, Indian museums, the condition of Indian museums, and the conceptual difficulties of curating popular visual culture. And of course, in Jammu, as you can see, it is art in the context of socio-political conflicts, all kinds of various. Yeah, this is the. While evolving a critical pedagogy, we ask these questions as to what is the relationship of, what should be the relationship of curators and the market forces, the galleries. What kind of relationship should come to exist? Should the galleries have a better say than a curator? How to kind of maintain your curatorial authority or assert the authority in relation to private gallery. Curation outside the sphere of existing institutional system, and how to kind of curate community, art. So these are kind of questions that, this is the last point that I want to bring in. We are thinking about four centers or matrices, 4 focus points within which we are thinking of structuring a postgraduate curriculum. One is that methodology of conceptualizing curation, or what we can also call as history of curation. Methodologies of curation, a paper. This would actually mean analysis of existing curatorial ventures, models of curation as well as theoretical historical studies on curation, so bring it into the curriculum. The structures and strategies behind different curatorial models. What do you intend? What are the curatorial intentions and the strategies? History of exhibition making and the development of ideas in each. So that is one of our first thing. Then the second, of course, what one cannot avoid is the practical considerations involving curatorial practices about budgeting, about lighting, about transportation, about various aspects of insurance to agreement between artists and the gallery, etc., etc. These are practical questions. Or exhibition design, also as a very important. Nowadays, actually, people hire, big major exhibitions hire designers to hang the show. And what should be in a curriculum or curation, what should be the relevance of art historical and aesthetical studies? What kind of focus should be given? And what should be the input of relevant critical theories, starting with post-structuralism, structuralism, feminism, Marxism, the critical theories that has come up, how much of that should go into the education of a curator. So these are basically the things that I want. There is something more, but I can stop there. I'm also tired. We can, if there are questions, maybe we can discuss them. So try to get some feedback, even if they are not questions, what you thought about. Yeah.
We were talking about the position of the curator at the beginning. So I was just thinking, if we position the curator as mediators or interpreters, within a public realm, then don't you think that it also multiplies the chances or the probabilities of misinterpretation, as the viewing process at times gets stuck to the curator's note, and how to counter that problem? Because the idea, the subject.
I didn't get your point.
Okay. I'm saying that if we position the curator as mediators between the public, between public and art, then there are chances of there are probabilities of misinterpretation which multiplies, because at times the subject-artist concept, the artists who are there in the show, their concepts are marginalized as the viewing process gets stuck on the curator's note, and how to counter that problem?
No, one thing is that I don't think any interpretation is a misinterpretation, or all interpretations are misinterpretations.
No, at times.
I mean, you are going around with the idea that there is one correct interpretation. As far as I am thinking, from the premise of post-structuralism, there is no one single correct interpretation. All interpretations are valid. It depends on your positionality, the position, the framework that with which you look at. I mean, an older perspective of, say, Kumaraswamy's framework or Kumaraswamy's perspective may look wrong to me. So I have a right to kind of critically reject that and present what I want to say about something, any art object, right? So there, it is not a question of right or wrong. Kumaraswamy wrong and I am right. Of course, I'm going to say that he's wrong and I'm right. But if you take us out of the discourse, these are discursive practices. Curation is a discursive practice, and there is no question of misinterpretation. That is one of the interpretations. That's all we can say. So that's why we need to make, what we can do is that we can ensure that the curators are well informed, critically sound.
Type of the shows which goes around, even in like everybody is posing as a curator, and then they are coming up there, like you have already mentioned, like when we enter the hall, we see that okay, this is a curatorial project. Then you see the works and there is no relation with the works, and then it gets all collapsed, like it falls before your eye.
Right. Yeah, so that is the major problem that today, because Indian universities has not kept up with the changing needs of the situation. We say, for instance, I will be coming up to talk about it in the seminar, that Indian art teaching institutions have not grown up to accept something new, installation art or video art. Who is teaching it in Shantiniketan? I mean, whereas the market is full of that. I mean, you see, many artists are practicing it, right? Because that's an international need. When you go to a Biennale or anything, like that, you are invited if you are doing new media artists, right? Or many artists practice new media along with your painting or sculpture, right? So that you have both the possibilities, right? So, I mean, that apart, I'm saying is that our art institutions, let's accept the fact that our artist institutions, our teaching institutions are lagging behind. It takes 50 years for it to wake up to something new. I mean, in Baroda they say that, oh, we allow students to do installation art, but the degree they get is actually in painting. It is tolerated. In any case, nobody guides them. जो भी मन में आया किया, जी गया, और एग्जाम में रखा, कुछ मार्क्स मिला गया. It doesn't matter actually. But we are talking about a rigorous training in installation art. Are we not? Since 80s, Indian artists are doing installation art. But where do you get training in that? We have to still look at the book somewhere in the net. We have to still depend on hearsay about things. But there is no institution that is teaching. So similarly, no curation is being taught. So, but market needs curators, or at least somebody goes around. Now, you think that all feminists are feminists? Also, because there is a need to put that label, so people put that label around and claim whatever, right? Or we don't accept labels. Also, I don't want to call myself feminist because it sounds something very against man or something. So misunderstandings of that kind, right? No Indian artist will call themselves feminist. Have you ever heard any Indian, except one or two maybe, very aggressive Rekha Rodithya maybe, but otherwise they all wriggle out. Oh no, we are doing women-oriented themes and we are women artists. That is very obvious. If you are wearing a sari, you are a woman, right? You don't need a special label for that. But there must be some value related to be when you call yourself a feminist, right? It is your ideology, it is your critique about something, it is your, positionality in relation to, gender politics in terms of patriarchy. That understanding is not there, right? So, curator is also like any Tom, Dick and Harry who has that label. Somebody calls you a curator, you are a curator. But that curator may not have an idea of what, curation is, or what is the critical points, or still lifes, curate. So everybody is asked to do a still life. So, and that's called curation. So, it's somewhat, shoddy affair. That's also the way galleries generate possibilities of getting Jogen Chowdhury. Jogen Chowdhury wouldn't give unless and until it's a curated show. I'm just giving an example. So you create a curatorial project, you create it to suit Jogen Chowdhury, right? So at least one work I can have, no? So it's like that, So these are kind of gallery strategies that are kind of, kind of leading to. So I don't know. I think.
While going out of the gallery system, how can we negotiate with the public authorities, or in public authorities we have to deal with this public spaces
No, who is asking you to go out of the gallery system? I did not sound like that. I didn't say that. I'm saying that make use of it. Bend it to your purpose. Don't think that galleries are of the elites and paisa wale ka hai, humko kuch lena dena nahi. But go in there, take over. Don't allow the galleries to kind of have a control over you. You are an artist. You are the freedom. That is what you should do. Rather than kind of keeping silent, like going like cat. No. You should develop your personality in such a way that you command what the gallery should do. Hey, this is what I should exhibit. You have no right to kind of say what, The space may be owned by you. That is fine, Also because the galleries do not get into any agreement at any stage with the artist, right? So they find it very easy to manipulate to the artist, and everybody is singly kind of taken in and dealt with, then thrown out, then another person is taken. So galleries have all kinds of strategies to kind of exploit you, but artists should have greater strategies to deal with it. So I will never advise to leave the galleries out, but make use of the gallery for what you want to say. Along with that, also make use of explore other possibilities. That's what would be more logical. Make use of that, the possibility of Nandan Mela, for instance. Don't allow all those stupid craft thing to be, doing something more dearer to you, ideologically. This is what I want to speak, at least, we are too much tired of that sitting in this place to criticize K.G. Subramanian may not be very acceptable, but we are tired of those toys. Don't want to see it anymore. The same thing, you have done it. Yeah. If you can give it to some company, let them do it, branded item, But we want to do something more. When do we learn? When do we start doing that, Because also we are always under tradition. All kinds of traditions are there. We respect tradition, we love tradition. But let's not get crushed under tradition. Rabindranath Tagore wouldn't have allowed that. He's the one who was very more forceful with regard to modern art, for instance, And he was a free thinker. Tradition should be there. We respect tradition, we preserve tradition, but tradition should not oppress us. So that's why I'm saying, let Nandan Mela be taken over by younger generation, and you do what you want to do, more meaningfully, more effectively, taking into consideration the art situation. Let the galleries not come and kind of bargain and make, buy portfolios and go. I mean, fairs have become like that, useless. I mean, Nandan Mela, which was started for people and art to have an interface, has now reduced to money making. Institutions are money making, I mean, produce some portfolios and kind of, at least that's the case in Baroda. So I was against it. I mean, I'm not against fair. I mean, it's a very good thing to do. But what do you do with the fair? I'm glad that Indro is not here, otherwise he would have killed me. No, but it's high time that these are kinds of things that is revamped. It's not necessarily Indro's problem, but definitely Dhumal is promoting it. I mean, why do we subscribe to that, Why do we agree with it? We are, as Indians, we respect too much of our seniors, and, but we should have certain ability to kind of break, possibilities, explore new things. Yeah, so I think that answered your question more than.
Shivji,
Yes.
I'm sure many practical department students would like to know that if they engage with these curation theory workshops,
Yes.
What they could get out of it. And one very basic question some of them ask is that as an artist, could they also be a curator?
See, I mean, before, I would actually ask you to answer it. But before that, I want to say this, that in today's time, there is a category called artist curator. An artist, along with working on his or her own work, also functions as a curator, that one can curate one's own work, but one's own colleagues' works. So curation can be very successfully practiced by artists. Curation can be an extension of your work, your practice, your art making practice. Curation, one curated show is a creation of a particular kind. So it is not just kind of mediating it for the public, but as a project, it is a creative project. So it has equal potential for creativity. So what is your suggestion? Again, our Indian, one of the Indian nature is to kind of pigeonhole, If I say that Bhupen Thakkar is a gay artist, you are pigeonholing him. You fear that, Why do you fear it? I mean, he's a gay artist, he is. So not to get into that fear, that being an artist you cannot curate. Who says? You can. I mean, please answer.
I think until a few years ago, there was this notion that an artist cannot curate himself. Suppose he is curating a show of artists who are at the same level in career as him. It would be frowned upon if he would include his own work in that show. But what happens with this critical kind of curating is that if the artist genuinely feels that his work fits in the discourse, he can go ahead and do it. Then it can be left to the critics to decide whether what he did was theoretically sound or not. And as far as an artist is concerned, suppose he's only a painter or a sculptor, he can independently also be a curator. So because even Raimi Badamosi, who was there in 2 of the workshops as a resource person, he himself is a practicing artist. And
he's a conceptual artist and a curator.
Yeah. Even Sunil Gupta is a photographer and he is also
a curator.
So it has nothing to do with one being an artist or not. I mean, you can do both the things. It can, and also going to curation theory workshop can actually help you improve your art practice by knowing what kind of theoretical frameworks are being discussed. And even suppose you are not really interested in becoming a curator, but just an artist, by going there you could come to know how how your work would be received by curators, or what kind of curators to show your work to.
Yeah. In any case, it is generally speaking, they are educational experiences. So, as a continuation to this discussion, I would like to say that now, of course, the Jammu thing is all finalized, and we are going to do that without any one of you except two of them. But if any one of you is interested, please put in your concept note for curation for the Shillong event that's going to come up in 2012 September. So 2 months before, at least, we will close the date for application and all that. So it is going to be in Shillong, and it is going to be centered around the northeastern states, art in northeastern state. So anybody in this group or anybody whom you know who is specifically interested in the question of region and regional art, as well as specifically with regard to Assam, Meghalaya, all those 7 states in Northeast, please come forward and put in your concept note. Right? We would like to have you. So the focus is going to be Northeastern art, curating Northeastern art, and the regional issue. So when it comes to regional issue, we would like to also include other regions. Whoever would like to do something about Shantiniketan, for instance. Let it be a response to. It can be also a response to the show curated by Anshuman Dasgupta and this other person. Watson, right? It can be a response to that, right? Also. So, yeah. So a lot of curation has happened on the basis of individuals like Nandalal Bose, Vinod Bihari Mukherjee, now coming up with Ramkinga Bej. But we would also like to have a curation of Shantiniketan, all those aspects that are, so that could have a certain regional thing about it, right? I mean, it's a kind of community-based, local thing, so such concept notes would be most welcome. Or if you want to look at, say, more closely with any of these fairs that you have, that's also a kind of a curation. In the sense, you set up a site for a fair, and all kinds of people do things, and it includes food, it includes performances, it includes, so it is in a way kind of a curation. You can actually call it a community curation. So even that kind of projects can be, thought about. Yeah, any further questions? There's nobody to object.
I am interested to work with non-artist community people, like outside the frame of artist community.